At the Victory Gala back in the States, the untouchable Victor went down on one knee to slip a shoe onto a girl's foot. The moment the teenager spotted me, her eyes lit up. "So you're big sister. No wonder Victor kept hiding you from me." She bustled right up. "Sis, you're gorgeous." 32 never looked so 30. "I've been married to Victor for 10 years. I never knew he had a little sister." I looked at him. Halfway in the grave and still copying the kids with a side piece. Before we go on, subscribe to this channel and tell us in the comment section where you're tuning in from. I walked to the only empty seat, picked up my chopsticks, and was about to eat. Victor stayed silent. The girl answered first. "Sis, maybe it's been so long since you and Victor had sex you think is old. Trust me, he's got more stamina than the boys in my class." I'd been running on an empty stomach all day, but hearing that Victor had even told her we no longer sleep together killed my appetite. "And sis, I'm not some man-stealing rival. I'm here to help. You're always away on business, so I keep an eye on Victor for you. No wandering, no messing around. Girls help girls, right?" She planted herself on his lap as she spoke. I glanced around the table at our business partners, unable to believe the man everyone calls the untouchable Titan would let a woman sit on him in public. In 10 years of marriage, he wouldn't even let me hold his hand at events. I thought he'd push her away. Instead, he steadied her waist with careful hands. When Victor noticed my stare, he flicked a look at me. "You're in Maisie's seat." Maisie dimpled. "Sis, men are tools, don't waste pity on him. Feel sorry for a man and you'll be unlucky for life." Victor didn't contradict her. He indulged her the way he indulged her, calling him by his first name. The guests whispered, "Come on, Riley and little Miss Hart make a perfect pair, Silver Fox and Sweet Peach. They've got matching faces if you ask me. Miss Hart looks way fresher than Mrs. Sterling. If I were Riley, I'd pick her with my eyes closed." I laid down my chopsticks. I studied the cuddling couple. "I think I'm shipping you two. Let's divorce, Victor. I'll gladly step aside." Victor snorted. "Luna, divorce me? Could you stand losing all this luxury? When I married him, the gap between our status was a canyon. Eleanor's price for letting me through the door was a clean exit if we ever split. Pathetically, I'd thought we would never need that clause. I'd thought I'd married for love. He thinks I married for money." When I said nothing, Victor's smirk turned vicious. "Still playing jealous at your age? Take a lesson from Maisie and try being a modern woman." He scooped her up and carried her out without a backward glance. The second they disappeared, the guests invented excuses and left. The Victory Gala meant for me now held only an empty banquet hall and me. I called my attorney and told him to draft the papers. I drifted home, so hollow with hunger my stomach cramped. I opened the Sub-Zero, shelves of pastries and junk food. Victor hates sweets. Every room had been rearranged, cutesy cookware in the kitchen, cartoon print sheets in the bedroom, loud floral dresses hanging beside my power suits in the walk-in closet. The air reeked of unfamiliar perfume, traces of another woman everywhere. Housekeeper heard me and came upstairs, startled. "Miss Hart, Mrs. Sterling, the master and that lady have been using this suite lately." I yanked open the nightstand drawer. The jade pendant my late mother left me was gone. I never wore it outside for fear of losing it. Every night for 10 years I'd opened that drawer to be sure it was safe. Now it had vanished, and there was only one thief. Furious, I dialed Victor. He rejected call after call. On the 10th, someone finally picked up. "Sis, what taking your stuff? I told you I'm on your side. I even hung my clothes right next to yours." Her righteous tone twisted my stomach. "You know exactly what you took. Bring it back now." Victor's impatient voice drifted over. "Why bother talking to her? Come back to bed." I raised my volume. "Victor, your mistress took my mother's jade, make her return it. It's just a jade pendant. Quit throwing a tantrum over a kid's prank. Grow up." He hung up. I hit redial, my number was already blocked. The room spun. I blacked out. I woke in Riverdale, acute gastritis. Housekeeper had found me and called 911. The first thing she did was alert Victor. He didn't believe her. "TSK, she drafts an extra for her jealousy drama. Tell her not to bother me unless she's actually dying." 3 days, no word from him. My attorney emailed the divorce agreement. Silence. I was checking out when I saw Victor and Maisie downstairs. A gynecologist was congratulating them on their baby. I stood frozen. 10 years of marriage, and I'd never managed to give him a child. Eleanor dragged me to every fertility specialist, and every test said I was fine. The problem was obvious. I'd kept quiet to protect Victor's pride, letting him blame me. Now his teenage girlfriend is pregnant. Absurd. I watched them head to Sterling, touched up my makeup, and followed. Before I reached the executive floor, I heard the staff gushing. Maisie, you're so generous, and LV for each of us. Way nicer than Luna ever was. You and Riley are the real deal. Someone else just stole your seat first. That pink diamond ring is flawless on you. Even Mrs. Sterling never got that. Total one of a kind. Maisie flashed the rock. No thanks needed, sisters. A man's money is for us to spend. Maisie, you're amazing. We're so jealous. Jealous of what? Of being the other woman? I strode in on my heels. Maisie's face fell. I call you sis out of respect. I'm here to help, and you call me a mistress? That's low. Help. A husband stealer thinks she's helping? I seized her wrist. A pink diamond ring from De Beers. 10 carats costs at least 10 million. Could you ever afford that yourself? Maisie yanked her hand back, shameless and righteous. I've looked after Victor for all these days. A little compensation is only fair. Marital property acquired while we're still married. Every cent you took, you'll vomit back. Seeing my tone, Maisie dropped the act. Her face dripped scorn. No wonder Victor thinks you're old and can't stand the sight of you. You calculate everything. Stop pretending to be some power woman. We've got a name for your type, manly tease. I gave her a cool once-over. Still better than a homewrecker who waves the girl power flag while bedding any man she can. Maisie's face went green with rage, yet none of the people she'd once bankrolled dared utter a syllable. After all, I held their professional life or death in one hand. One word from me and they were fired. Maisie remembered something, cradling her belly. You're just a barren hen. Even after menopause you couldn't hatch a chick. You're a disgrace to women. I'm not like you. I'm young and fertile. I lifted my hand and slapped her smug face. Don't flaunt that baby like a royal decree. Listen, cross me and you're still miles out of your league. I stepped into Victor's office. Without looking up, he cooed, Maisie, how many times have I asked you to knock? I tossed the divorce papers onto his desk. Only then did he raise his head, expression hardening. Luna, don't you know you're supposed to knock before entering my office? What a double standard. I had no time to argue. I tapped the agreement. Victor, sign. I'll walk away penniless, but with one condition: give me back my jade pendant. Or I won't mind a scorched earth fight. When I married Victor, the first had nothing, but I'd spent nearly a decade bleeding on Sterling's front lines. I was no longer the nobody I'd once been. The moment I mentioned the jade, Victor's eyes flickered with guilt. Then, stubborn, he snatched the papers and hurled them back at me. Luna, there's a limit to jealousy. You're not some 20-something like Maisie. You ought to know the consequences of your actions. Maisie burst in sobbing and buried her head against Victor's chest. Big sis is mad because you gave me the diamond ring. I don't have to keep it. Victor gazed at her swollen cheek in anguish. Luna, you slapped her over a ring. After all these years as Mrs. Sterling, haven't you gotten everything you wanted? Must you be so petty? I smiled bitterly. 3 years ago a car accident had sent our wedding band flying off my finger. Victor swore he'd replace it with something one of a kind. For 3 years I waited only to see that promised ring sparkling on someone else's hand. Swallow that. Impossible. Since you know I'm the petty type, be smart, sign and we can part friends. Otherwise, my gaze swept their faces. Every humiliation you've served me, I'll collect back tenfold, 100-fold. Maisie lifted her tear-streaked face. I only wanted to help, but sis misunderstood and threw my kindness back at me. Fine, I'm leaving. She dashed out playing the victim. Victor shot me a glare and started after her. Sign first, then hand over my pendant, or I leak everything to the press right now. I waved my phone. I'd been recording from the moment I entered Sterling. That trinket. I gave it to a beggar ages ago. Want it? Dig through the trash. My eyes widened before I could demand details. A scream came from the outer corridor. Someone yelled. Maisie tumbled down the stairs. Victor shoved me aside and rushed out. I crashed into the desk corner, blood streaming down my temple. Half dizzy, I staggered after them and saw Victor scoop Maisie into his arms. She writhed theatrically. Victor, let go. If you keep this up, your wife will scream mistress at me again. You're about to be a mother, act like it. If she dares insult you again, I'll divorce her on the spot. I gave a cold laugh. What a match made in cesspool heaven. Luna, what happened to your head? Victor let Maisie wriggle free and stepped toward me, worry flickering in his eyes. Maisie's face flashed venom. She folded her arms. Older women really know their tricks, self-inflicted wounds without batting an eye. I'll never beat that level of calculation. Victor hesitated, about to speak. When Maisie's expression flipped, she clutched her belly. It hurts, Victor. Am I losing the baby? He scooped her up to race to the ER. Sign first. Otherwise tomorrow Sterling Industries' cheating scandal hits every headline. Guess how many points the stock drops? Victor ground his teeth. You wouldn't dare. Try me. You might survive it, but your little girlfriend will be hounded by every hashtag. 10 years under the same roof, he knew my threats were never empty. Glancing at Maisie's pale face, Victor finally caved. He scrawled his name across the divorce agreement and flung it in my face. The motion tore my wound. Tears of pain blurred my vision. He looked down at me. Keep throwing your tantrum, Luna. When you come crawling back, don't expect me to care. I glared back, unflinching. Bring my pendant when we file the final papers, or this is far from finished. Maisie's weak voice floated in. You mean that cheap jade? I saw a homeless man who needed help and gave it to him. He needed it more than we ever would. Can't you spare even that much compassion? I stared at them in disbelief. I'd thought Victor's beggar story was a lie. Who gave them the right? Who said they could turn my mother's keepsake into their cheap act of charity? Rage scorched my chest. I lunged to claw at Maisie. Enough. I still have a reputation. Victor shielded her and shoved me hard. I hit the floor, consciousness slipping, watching him carry Maisie away without a backward glance. In the darkness I swore. I, Luna, will devote the rest of my life to making these two bastards pay. Eventually a colleague drove me to Riverdale. Just mild concussion and low blood sugar. I have no relatives in this city. My assistant Ryan handled everything. As soon as I could sit up, I buried myself in work. Luna, here are the partnership invitations that arrived these past few days. Ryan handed me the folders. After a moment he added, you don't have to push yourself like this. Take a breath. Ryan's been with me forever. He's seen every brutal mile. I don't dare rest. I used to chase Victor's pace, never dared stop. To deserve him I not only carried Sterling Industries but spun off a company of my own. And Victor thinks this divorce is just another tantrum. Actually, I'd been exhausted for a long time. In the 3rd year of our marriage, while I was working myself into collapse, he looked for company in another woman's bed. Later, when I made a scene worthy of daytime TV, he promised to come home for good. Only, his patience with me wore thinner every day. Before long he found someone new. Yet he still granted me a scrap of face in public until now. This was the first time I'd seen him spoil a woman so openly. It seemed Maisie was special to him. But no matter what, she had no right to lose my jade pendant. This time she had crossed my absolute bottom line. I would make every one of them pay. In a single night, the headline Sterling Group president caught cheating rocketed to the top of trending topics. Sterling Group faced a PR crisis like never before. I immediately reached out to my contacts inside the company and started poaching business. Over the years I'd built a long Rolodex. Everyone, eyeing bigger profit, naturally hoped for greener pastures. For a month I ran myself ragged. Sterling scrambled to do damage control, never noticing the bleeding of business. Meanwhile Maisie curated her online persona, the darling rich girl who adores other girls. I can't stand seeing any girl heartbroken. Since this man hurt Sis, I'll punish him and spend his money like crazy. Sis is finally free, divorced and out of that hell. I'm so happy for her, but she misunderstands me. My goal was always to help her, never to grab a title. Why can't she see? Sis actually called me the other woman, so unfair. Luckily I have my fam in the comment section. Comments gushed that she was pretty and kind, while I was clueless and ungrateful. Someone doxed me and dumped my info. Netizens launched online harassment across every account I owned. So this is the hag Maisie helped. Unworthy of the sisterhood, revoke her girl card. Die already, you 10-year barren hen. No wonder hubby won't touch you, you'd earn more on a street corner. Seriously, who'd covet your housewife badge? My girl Maisie shines solo, she never wanted your crusty man. Wait, she's the legal wife. Helping doesn't give you license to be a mistress. I watched the few voices defending me get chased off the internet by Maisie's followers. I handed my phone to Ryan for notarization. Every slur in the comment section would be prosecution ammo. I told Sterling's legal department to trace every IP and sue them one by one. As for Maisie, I curved my lips. Her victory lap wouldn't last 3 more days. Maisie, seeing her followers' savage loyalty, felt warm and safe. She hadn't forgotten the slap Luna gave her that night. She turned to find Victor staring at the wedding photo on the master suite wall. She drifted over, face puckered with hurt. Victor, did I make Sis unhappy? Maybe I should just leave. Sis has a temper, I'd never trust her with you, but I still want her to smile. Victor pulled her close. Nonsense. You worry about her happiness and ignore mine? Heartless little thing. I can't help it, I hate seeing girls cry. He tapped her nose. Silly, I'm the one keeping you. Why side with her? Do you think she's your real sister? HMPH. Go coax her back. Ha, coax her? She's not worth it. She throws tantrums morning to night. If she were half as reasonable as you and agreed to play nice, I'd die happy. When he truly refused to fetch Luna, Maisie exhaled, rose on tiptoe, and kissed him. Only after long, breathy minutes did the wet sounds stop. She winked. I have a surprise for you. Then she twirled into the bathroom. Victor stepped onto the balcony, phone in hand, scrolling calls and texts. He had blocked Luna's number for almost a month. She hadn't sent one message or made one call. No matter what she said this time, he wouldn't forgive her easily. Since she'd flung the word divorce so casually, she could damn well stay gone. Better if she never came back. Hubby. The familiar term hit him like a shot of dopamine. He spun around. It was Maisie. She wore Luna's silk nightgown. Through the flimsy fabric her young body glimmered. Soft as water, she murmured, Hubby, the baby's 3 months along, doctor says we're safe. Any other night he'd have pounced like a wolf. Tonight his face was stone. Who told you to wear her things? Who said you could call me that? Maisie's smile froze. Victor, I only thought since Sis hasn't come home, she could feel part of our love. Take it off, now. Maisie opened her mouth to wheedle when a ringtone sliced the air. Victor glanced at the screen and answered instantly. Before I could speak he crowed, Luna's calling to beg. Tell Maisie you're sorry and I'll consider letting you come home. Can't you two act like sisters instead of a catfight? Do you have to make everything ugly? I laughed in disgust. He actually thought I wanted peace. By that logic I'll drag home a guy of my own and you two can be blood brothers. Luna, don't you dare. TSK, Victor, when did you become such a hypocrite? I step out for a reason. 1, you can't satisfy me. 2, you can't give me kids. In our crowd everyone keeps a spare, why should I be different? Shameless. We're done. I'm only reminding you. 3 days, 9 a.m., City Hall. If you don't show, you'll pay. I cut the line and blocked him. Luna, marvelous. Victor snarled, hurling the phone so hard shards scattered. Maisie jumped. He spun on her. Still here? I said change. Trembling, she yanked open the walk-in closet. Victor's pupils shrank. He seized her wrist. Where are Luna's clothes? Ice crawled along Maisie's spine. She'd tossed them, unable to stand the sight, but she stammered, I don't know. Maybe Sis came back for them. Victor looked around. The clay figurine on the dresser, the painting on the wall, the diffuser on the nightstand, every trace of Luna was gone. He felt a sudden, nameless panic. It hit him. He might lose her forever. He barked for the housekeeper. When did my wife come for her things? The housekeeper blinked. Monley returned that night she left for Riverdale. She didn't take anything. she said. Victor's brows crashed together. She really went to Riverdale that night? What exactly did she say? The housekeeper stammered. Madam saw all of Maisie's things in the master suite. She said she wouldn't take anything. She thinks it's filthy. Victor's head snapped toward Maisie. Was this your brilliant idea? You told me to act like the lady of the house. I figured Luna probably wouldn't come back, so I redecorated the way I liked. Before the sentence ended, Victor's hand cracked across her cheek. Actually believe you're the lady of this house? Nobody gets that title except Luna, least of all you. She will come back. And before she does, you'd better restore that room to exactly how it was. Maisie burst into frantic tears. How am I supposed to do that? I threw everything away ages ago. Victor exploded. Get security up here, throw her out. Maisie stared at him, disbelieving. She couldn't understand how the man who'd been whispering love to her minutes ago had turned this cold, this ruthless. She crawled forward and clutched his trouser cuff. Victor, did I do something to upset Luna? I can apologize. Victor kicked her off. You dare say my name? You dare call her Luna? Get lost. Within minutes, she and her shabby pile of belongings were hurled down the front steps. Crushed, she saw Victor's car stop in front of her. Hope flared. Alex. Riley, you've changed your mind, right? I can please you way better than that old woman, and I'm carrying your baby. Please don't send me away. Victor raked his gaze over her. Strip that nightgown off her. With that, the car roared off. The guards tore the silk slip away, leaving Maisie naked and shrieking like a madwoman. No one rushed to baby her now. Outside the Sterling estate she screamed into the night. Luna, I hate you. Inside the car, Victor panicked at the thought of the empty master suite. Luna's scent, her presence, gone. He had to find her, hear her admit the divorce threat was only a ploy for attention. Only then could he breathe. But every place he tried turned up nothing. She wasn't at Sterling. He'd personally approved her resignation. Her old pre-marriage apartment had been surrendered right after the wedding. She had no family left. Where could she go? For the first time, Victor felt blind when it came to Luna. 10 years of marriage, an entire decade, and he realized he knew nothing about her while she could recite his every like and dislike. What had he done? He'd assumed Luna would always stand where he could see her, assumed she would always be there, so he'd taken her for granted. Now he knew he deserved to burn in hell. If he could coax her back, he'd spend the rest of his life making it up to her. Victor created a group chat through mutual friends. He hit voice call. I picked up. Exhaustion soaked his voice. Luna, stop this. Let's make up, okay? The moment the words landed, alarm bells screamed in my head. If he backed out now, we'd have to litigate, and first petitions rarely grant divorce. Just thinking about an endless legal slog made my temples throb. I tried to reason. Did I hear you right? Reconcile? Is your mistress okay with that? She's dying to move in, isn't she? There's no mistress anymore. I don't want her. I only want you. His fake devotion left me speechless. Spare me the nausea. If you don't show, just wait and see. I hung up and left the chat. Ryan set a stack of Sterling documents in front of me. Luna, we've snapped up a trove of minority shares at premium prices. Among all shareholders, you now hold the largest block. Absolute control. I smiled, satisfied. The sleepless nights had paid off. Victor still didn't know Sterling Industries was about to change owners. Our company has also lured Sterling's anchor client base. Congratulations, you've hollowed Sterling out. Gratitude and/or shone in Ryan's eyes. Luna, you're incredible. I gave a small, calm smile. All those years grinding on the front lines hadn't been wasted. I could thank every past hardship for forging the ruthless edge I wield now. When polite warnings fall on deaf ears, I bring down the hammer. That night, Victor's childhood friend rang me. Sis, Taylor's wasted and keeps yelling for you. Nobody can touch him, come drag him home, please, don't call me sis. Your sis is Maisie. Don't bother me again. After I hung up, the friend looked helplessly at Victor, who sat nursing a bottle. Other Savir buddies dialed Luna. Every call went straight to voicemail. Taylor, sis, blocked us. Victor sprang up and smashed the bottle on the floor. Who told you to contact her? Do you think Victor can't live without her? Silence fell. You could have heard dust settle. Finally, the childhood friend clapped Victor's shoulder. Taylor, you can fool us, but don't fool yourself. The window to win her back is closing. Yeah, we mess around, but we don't let the side chick wave it in our wife's face. And Maisie crossed the line. She splashed their affair all over social media, playing the Women Support Women card while chasing his wallet. Someone pulled up Maisie's latest post for Victor. Her saintly captions couldn't hide the timeline of how she chased him while pretending to empower women. Victor's fury went supernova. That damn woman, this is all her fault. He finally admitted his own blindness. He'd actually seen traces of Luna's old carefree spark in Maisie. He snatched his jacket and stormed out. I'm going to make her pay. The day of our City Hall appointment arrived. I waited out front for ages before Victor showed, haggard and 10 years older under the weight of Sterling's implosion. I tapped my watch. Hurry up, clerks are about to close. With Sterling in crisis, he finally realized my exit had paralyzed the company. Half the staff had walked with me, taking key anchor clients and business along. Sterling was now an empty hull, its rebranding hinging on one word from me. Seeing me, light finally flickered in his eyes. Almost kneeling, he rasped, Luna, I was wrong. I can't live without you, please, no divorce. I glanced at my watch. Today should be Sterling's pitch to the Dysons. Drag your feet and I'll poach them too. The Dysons were one of Sterling's last big accounts. I'd nearly killed myself locking them in. I wasn't ready to relinquish them, and Victor couldn't afford to lose them either. Luna, must you be this heartless? I tilted my head. Heartless? Compared to you, I'm merely catching up. Tears slid from his eyes as he begged, can't we go back to the way we were? On our wedding day we swore we'd stay together forever. I've already driven every distraction out of my life. I'll never see that bitch Maisie again. I answered with a cold laugh, pulled out my phone, and opened Maisie's social feed. She was lounging in one of Victor's villas, flaunting her baby bump selfies, tossing out casual affection, and taking every chance to trash me. When Victor saw the screen, his face drained of color. He stammered, listen, it's not what you think. She's pregnant. I couldn't let my own flesh and blood wander around out there. Once we get back together, you can't give me kids. You can't expect me to go my whole life childless, right? I flashed my watch. The Dysons just touched down. Hurry to City Hall, sign the papers, and I'll have a little surprise for you. Cornered, Victor obeyed. The moment we stepped out of City Hall, I fished 2 fresh medical reports from my bag. One was mine. One was his. My results, perfectly healthy, high probability of natural conception. His insurance sheet, rock-bottom sperm quality, 0 chance of natural conception. Victor stared like lightning had split his personal sky. How is that possible? I climbed into the car. Riley, if you don't believe me, feel free to double-check at Riverdale. Congrats in advance on the honorary uncle job. As we drove off, I admired his ashen reflection in the rearview mirror and curled my lips. Looks like the Dyson partnership is sliding back into my pocket. Ryan glanced back from the driver's seat. Congratulations, Luna. The curtain's only just rising. Asterisk. Victor reached the estate just as Maisie went live, slandering me and steering her followers to hunt me down online. Her viewers seethed, crucifying me in the comment section. Maisie basked in it. Those mindless followers were her loaded gun, ready to fire wherever she pointed. Victor belonged to her now. Soon the title of Mrs. Sterling would be too, and every dollar of the Sterling fortune would flow to her baby. A worthless Luna didn't stand a chance. Her celebration was cut short when Victor grabbed her by the hair and slapped her senseless. You slut. Tell me, whose brat are you carrying? Maisie was too stunned to speak, guilt paralyzing her tongue. Victor read the truth on her face. The mighty CEO of Sterling Industries had been played by a 20-something girl. It's not like that. Riley, I don't know what you're talking about. Fine. If you're confused, let the doctors clarify. He hauled her off for an amnio. Netizens watching the stream exploded. Perfect match. He and that gold digger wife deserve each other. Both are shameless. This streamer walked into a trap those two set. Gross. I'm filing a complaint with their company. Hello. Didn't Maisie cuckold the wife and then cuckold the scumbag too? Maze's followers swarmed the last commenter, cursing him out. Seconds later, every foul-mouthed follower got served. They'd thought a few insults online were harmless, now they faced lawsuits. Terrified, dozens posted public apologies to reduce their liability, but my legal team let none of them off the hook. The instant Victor held the lab report, he realized how grotesquely he'd miscalculated. He had tossed away the woman who loved him more than life itself for a tramp anyone could have for a smile. An investigator's file landed on his desk. Maisie, the so-called empowered queen, was nothing but a joke. She changed boyfriends weekly, her sex life a revolving door. The fetus in her belly had a father list longer than a CVS receipt, and Victor had won dunce cap first place in the paternity raffle. He didn't force an abortion. He decreed she would drag that bastard fate inside her gut to her grave. The wealth Maisie had banked on dissolved like soap bubbles, and it was only the beginning. Guards watched her day and night. She couldn't live, couldn't die. Victor's men even drove her to the landfill to hunt for the jade pendant I had lost. After so many weeks, it was an impossible task, exactly the torture he wanted. He slammed her face into the trash. "You lost my wife's pendant, that's why she divorced me. If you can't find it, rot right here." Maisie sobbed and begged. Victor's heart stayed iron. While she rotted, Victor lost the will to live. The wife who once adored him was gone. The longed-for son wasn't his. His proud family empire had imploded, and creditors hounded him daily. Driven into a corner, he wound up camping outside my building. Who could recognize the ragged beggar as Riverdale's once untouchable prince? He crawled to my feet. "Luna, I was wrong. I'll never fixate on having kids again. We could stay a couple, just the two of us, forever." I nearly laughed myself sick. The minute he found out he was sterile, he turned magnanimous. When he thought I was barren, I was the villain of the century. I lowered my shades and twisted the knife. "Riley, you should be off enjoying parent heaven. Don't force yourself to slum it in childlessville on my account." Ryan piped up from the front. "Luna, the guy can't reach parent heaven, so now he wants back into fortune heaven with you." I giggled behind my hand. Broad daylight and some people are still dreaming. I looked away, acknowledging trash was a waste of oxygen. "Drive." The car rolled past without mercy. Victor stumbled after us. "Luna, you can't do this to R." A sickening thud and a scream echoed behind us. Ryan glanced at me. "Should I stop, Luna?" I watched the blur in the side window and slowly shook my head. No point. Whatever happened yesterday died with yesterday. It had nothing to do with me now. Later I saw the headlines. Maisie had lost her mind. After weeks in the landfill, she cracked. When she finally escaped, she went live, only to be trampled by her own followers. They cursed her for dragging them into lawsuits and draining their wallets. Everyone demanded refunds. She didn't have a cent. Some rabid followers tracked her down in person and took revenge. Word was they beat her until she miscarried. Whether she survived that winter, nobody knows. Thanks for listening to today's story. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it? If you enjoyed the video, please like and share with friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe for more gripping tales. See you next time.